Hello, this is SimplyExploVenturing coming to you from Franklin and Marshall College. And why am I here? We are continuing one of the journeys of the Marquis de Lafayette when he made his stop here in Lancaster for 3 days. So he's gonna be showing up soon to give a speech here right in front of Old Main. So join us, won't you? We got a lot of members of the faculty as well here, and some of the students here that are here now. Here's a look at the campus a little bit. And we're getting sun shower right here. It's neat. I'm sure it'll stop soon. So right there is some of the staff, and the gentleman with the suit is the new president here at Franklin Marshall, Andrew Rich. So he'll be, I'm sure, be one of the presenting, doing one of his speeches here about probably Lafayette coming here to the college, stopping here. So we got my buddy Don Couts here. So if you're not familiar, he's done the books on the mills here in Lancaster County, and I think also, hey Don, you've done both the books of the mills as well as the Conestoga, right?
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
How are you, sir?
Quite well, monsieur.
Andy Rich.
Ben Goldman, Marquis de Lafayette.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice show. How's your day been? It's been a wonderful day. I enjoyed the hospitality of Lancaster, of Chester County, and we have been very fortunate.
So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Andy Rich, and I am the new president of Franklin and Marshall College. And it is one of my very first acts as president to welcome Marquis de Lafayette to F&M. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
I welcome you, and I want to extend a very warm welcome to all who have joined us to mark 200 years since Lafayette took his farewell tour of the United States, which according to historical accounts included a visit to Franklin College. It is a joy to gather in the historic heart of our campus on this very steamy July afternoon, perhaps much like it would have been 2 centuries ago. I became FNM's president just 2 weeks ago, so it's particularly special for me to be part of this event and to welcome Marquis de Lafayette back to a campus that is still quite new to me. We gather this afternoon to celebrate a history that finds its connective thread in the figure who stands right here before us. 2 centuries ago, you, Marquis de Lafayette, traveled across this young country, visiting the people whose freedom you helped to secure in the American Revolutionary War. Your travels in 1824 and 1825 became known as your farewell tour of America. Today, FNM is honored to be one of the stops in celebration of your 1825 procession to the original Franklin College, a college founded in Lancaster in 1787 and named after our benefactor, Benjamin Franklin. Marshall College, which is named after Supreme Court Chief Justice John Marshall, was founded in 1836, and in 1853, Marshall College merged with Franklin College to form the institution we know and love today, Franklin and Marshall College. Those dates alone speak to a long and treasured history. FNM's liberal arts tradition is nearly as old as the country itself. It's no surprise then that many of FNM's values mirror the ones that this country was built upon. We believe in championing freedom, in pursuing knowledge and personal growth, in holding dialogue that challenges and inspires, and in bringing people together from all backgrounds with diverse experiences and thoughts and talents and dreams to form a vibrant community. This work has never been so important, and FNM is doing it so well in an exceptional way as a leader in the liberal arts. And it was with these ideals in mind that I welcome you, Marquis de Lafayette, a diplomat in your own right, back to our campus and to present you, it is my pleasure, with a commemorative bowl. Featured on this bowl are images of our first presidents, President Eulenberg of Franklin College, President Rausch of Marshall College, and President Gerhardt, the first president of Franklin and Marshall College. The bowl was created in honor of FNM's own bicentennial in 1987, so it feels like a fitting way to honor your bicentennial journey. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to Marquis de Lafayette.
Merci, monsieur. Merci, monsieur le président. Merci aux citoyens, aux Lancastriens. Thank you to the citizens of Lancaster for the warm welcome that you have shown me, and I have beheld in my travels here the wonders which have been the only practical result and the strongest practical argument in favor of strong Republican institutions, foremost among them the education of the young. It brings me great pride to see what this country has accomplished in educating its young men and women to uphold the values of liberty for which we fought. And if I may digress for a few moments, I wish to share with you the story of why it was I came to America in the first place all those years ago, because it begins on a very hot and steamy day not unlike this one. When I was 17 years old and very far from my home in Paris and from my family in Auvergne, I was stationed with the French army in the city of Metz in eastern France. By a show of hands, how many of you have been to my home country of France? Pas mal. How many of you have been to Metz? There is always one. Il y a toujours une. Metz, it is a city in the east of France. It is the capital of the province of La Lorraine, and it was near this city. The city lies near the border over which was fought the 7 Years' War, which was fought on this continent as well, although you Americans insist upon calling it the French and Indian War as though those were the only parties involved. No, 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 no. My own father lost his life in this war. He was not killed by the Indians, and he was certainly not killed by the French. He was killed by the English at the Battle of Minden in Prussia. This was a European war, and it remained very fresh in the minds of the officers who served during the conflict. But for me, a 17-year-old in Metz, it was excruciatingly boring, my time in the French army. But on a very steamy summer day, in 1775, we received in our encampment a most peculiar visitor, His Royal Highness the Duke of Gloucester, the very brother of King George III of England. And he was traveling from London to Italy and wished to stop in Metz along the way, and my commanding officers wished to put French hospitality on display. And so all of the officers were invited to dine with the Duke, as well as all officers who carried titles of nobility, a category into which I qualified by being a marquis. And you and your country have had the good sense of abolishing hereditary titles of nobility. But perhaps for the younger members of the audience among you, you have heard of a king, yes, and of a queen, and of princes and princesses, and dukes and duchesses, and counts and countesses. Well, in France at this time, in between a duke and a count, there is the marquis. So when my father died, I inherited his title, Marquis de Lafayette. It is not so much my name as it is, well, for lack of a better word, my job. And there I was, invited to dine with the Duke of Gloucester, and he shared with us on that evening very recent events that had been unfolding here in the New World, where a group of Bostonians, for their activities seemed to be concentrated in and around the city of Boston, had taken up arms against the king's own soldiers. And a Congress of colonial Americans, meeting not far from here in Philadelphia, had selected a gentleman from the southern territory of Virginia, George Washington, to lead a continental American army. And upon hearing of this revolution, mes amis, something awoke within me. My heart was immediately enlisted. Upon hearing of these revolutionaries and their fiery speakers, Patrick Henry, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, I knew my destiny lay here in America, and that the well-being of America would be forever linked to the well-being of all humanity. From the moment I heard America's name pronounced, I knew that I loved her. And when I learned she was fighting for freedom, I too burned to shed my blood for her. The days that I have spent fighting for her, I shall count among the happiest of my entire life. We have something in common, this institution and I, in that the good Dr. Franklin was my benefactor as well. It was under his letter of recommendation that I was made a Major General in the Continental American Army and joined His Excellency George Washington's military family, and in time came to think of him as my adoptive father and of the United States of America as my adoptive homeland. I thank you, Mr. President, for this very thoughtful and touching gift, and I thank you all from the bottom of my profoundly touched heart for the appreciation and enthusiasm that you have shown me. Je vous souhaite tous et toutes une très agréable continuation de votre journée. I wish you all a very pleasant continuation of your day. Merci beaucoup, mes amis. Merci. Merci.
Thank you very much, Marquis, and both for your making this a part of your tour 200 years ago, and again now at this anniversary. I know there's a number of people who are gathered who would enjoy the chance to take a picture with Marquis de Lafayette, and he has graciously agreed to do that. And so he will stick around. I know as he makes his tour of the Lancaster area, his schedule is tight, and so he can't stay for very long, but we're so grateful to have you with us and be able to stay for just a few more minutes. Before I conclude, I just want to thank a couple of the folks who have been so instrumental to making this possible here at Franklin and Marshall College. That includes two of our professors, Carrie Lanfried and Maria Mitchell. It includes Professor Emeritus Louise Stevenson, Christopher Robb and Louise Novello from our Archives and Special Collections team, and Kathleen Hood, who has been coordinating the entirety of the Lancaster Lafayette 200 tour. Thank you all very much for being with us this afternoon, and I wish you a good day.